Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the
Oh.
BowNerds podcast. Where we didn't have a subject, and Jared was like not paying attention, so I clicked record and just ran into this. We're just hitting this hard, right smack dab in the middle. We were thinking of some good topics to talk about, and one came up with hunter etiquette or bow hunter etiquette in the bow hunting world. There is a lot, I think, that goes unsaid, but is expected. And a lot of people that are joining hunting and bow hunting in specific, they don't know these untold stories and etiquette rules that you should probably follow.
Until they burn a bridge or two, and it's too late.
It's like, oh, I wasn't supposed to post on Facebook that spot you sent me. Oh, yeah. Oops, my bad.
My bad.
Yeah, I think there's some unspoken rules of the etiquette. And
I think so.
But it's all good stuff. Like, I don't think anyone means any harm by it.
No, everyone's just trying to get out there and just trying to experience the same things that you're experiencing, and everyone's all trying to get out of the outdoors with the same as the next guy, right?
Yeah.
I think a lot of it, like you're saying, I don't think is ill intention.
Mm-hmm. It's just they just don't know. You don't know what you don't know sometimes, which is fine. One being, I mean, we're talking about it for a second. If I sent Jared a pin to a spot, he asked me where to find muleys in Utah. Hey, dude, here's a spot. Kind of the unspoken rule is like Jared can go in there. He now has permission to go to that spot. He probably should respect who is going with him and or communicating back to me like, hey, dude, are you cool if I go in here X, Y, and Z? Because, yes, it's not my spot, right? Like, it's freaking public land. It doesn't matter what and where you go. But, it is nice to have, a honey hole that then if you do share with somebody, you can trust them that they're like, hey, I'm going to go in there. Are you cool with this? Versus just free range, going in. And now I go to my spot and Jared's already in there and I had no idea, or he had been in there the day before, blowing it all out, whatever it is. I just think that that's definitely an unspoken rule that not very many people even talk about. It's just like, I won't send you a pin type of thing.
Yeah. And then unless it's said otherwise, usually it's kind of like, this is a one-time pass unless we talk about it again.
Yeah.
Right. When I first moved here to Utah, I had a buddy of mine. He showed me all over the place up here, and
you still have those spots that you won't even share with me that he told you about.
Yeah, because he told me about these spots and he took me to these places, and I go back there because he didn't care. But I don't take people in there to those spots. I try to find my own places, or Brax and I try to go find our own places together, to go find our own honey holes and stuff like that. I've tried to respect that even 10 years down the road now.
Yeah. I'm like, dude, it's been forever. Just tell me where to go. But yeah, that just goes, it just shows your, so to say, integrity and loyalty to when people share location with you. Like, you're going to respect that. And I think it is important to respect those locations. I think there's a fine line with being a dick and you're never allowed at my spot. Don't ever, I'm not going to threaten you, but at the same time, it's just have some mutual respect with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's unfortunate. I know multiple situations where a guy shares a spot. This person tells this person and tells this person and tells this person. And by the time a couple years passes by, the whole entire family is now at this location, and all of these people, and now the original person can't even hunt it.
Yeah.
It's completely ruined.
Yep.
Which,
It's
who
happened.
knows how long it took for that person to develop that place. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
we spend years and years trying to find that one spot, whether it be like I'm just looking for somewhere that I can genuinely take my family and have a good opportunity just to see animals,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Yeah. Yeah. Not necessarily having the biggest deer, there's pockets out there that not everybody passes by, not everybody sees on the maps. Like there's spots that can, so to say, be secretive and you can have to yourself. But then when you do disclose it to one person, chances are high that it's going to go to the next and the next and the next. And yeah, within 2 years, that place is blown out and there's 100 people in there each hunting season. And now you don't have a place to hunt. You got to find a new spot. So it like that can be, yeah, an important thing. Then again, like I have spots where I'll just send people to, like, very well known spots. Like when somebody asks me, "Hey, where should I go?" Like, "Hey, here's a generic area. Go check this place out." You still got to put in the work. So like there is some people like, "How can I hunt this specific unit?" Okay, this is, look for this elevation, these side hills, hit, this few square miles area, you're gonna find something. But like you've got to be glassing, you got to put in the work. I have no idea where the big buck is roaming, right? um and I think that can be kind of a a different type of like scent pin, so to say.
Yeah,
um
and that's a piece of advice for people that are looking to get into an area, right?
yeah.
If you're going to approach somebody that you know has either hunted there or probably has some knowledge of the area, there's nothing wrong with um, asking for a broad location, because it doesn't feel like, it's not like, hey Braxton, I've never hunted Tennessee. Can you send me to your spot where you have a giant non-typical buck, please? You know what I mean? Because
Hmm.
you're most hunters are going to shut down and be like, "Who do you think you are?" Right?
Hmm.
And then um, if you're asking more of like, I I think approaching it like, "Hey, I'm thinking about heading here, here, and here. What are your thoughts on that?" Because it shows that you've put in your time to do some
Hmm.
homework, right?
Yeah.
And it 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 just shows that you're putting that effort in. Um, and I think that would go a lot further with kind of asking for spots per se.
Oh, for sure. Absolutely. Like I'm looking at these areas. I've put in homework. This is the reason why. Do you agree with this type of thing? Because you're looking for somebody's knowledge versus somebody's, so to say, secret spots, which I
Yeah,
think
exactly.
can go a long way. Where it's like, oh, maybe I will send them a better spot. Like, yeah, it's a good spot, but check these. Really trying to like teach somebody and help somebody out. So
Yeah.
I think that
And what's
that can
happened
go.
with me when someone's approached me like that, it's like, well, I mean, that the time of year that you're going, they're not there,
Mm-hmm.
but they're going to be there in November. So
Yeah, that's a
maybe
good
hit
point.
that in November. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And look for spots that are X, Y, and Z for the different time of year. So
Yeah. What happens when you glass up a bull, 1,000 yards out, and you got a dude that you see hiking up a hill, getting in position to those bulls or to that bull, and he's 500 yards out? What do you do in that situation?
what do you do, or what does happen?
What should you do, and what typically happens?
Yeah. So honestly, that happens quite often on the extended here in Utah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the bulls are in the open. There's people in the open, and what you should do if you see somebody putting a stock on some animals, you need to let them put some stock on the animals. But what I will tell you is not a bad idea is looking for an escape route and getting to an escape route.
Yes.
Don't go in and try to cut this person off. Don't give into this combat hunting that is so common. It's like, dude, this person was here first. I'm sorry if you weren't there first. You know, maybe should have been faster, right? But give people some space, man. I mean, they're putting in the work just like you are, uh, and let them put in their stock and have their opportunity. Yeah, it's hard because we all want this success just as badly, but it's not worth disrupting your moral compass, I guess you could say, right?
Totally. Totally. I mean, it's like that one, the one that happened 2 years ago where there was what, 3 or 4 bulls in this little slot, and there was me. I was already up there. I had called you to come up to be able to come from the backside. So you were on your way. Wes was there. Jared
Oh,
Knighton
yeah,
was there. And was Cade there?
Cade was there.
Cade was there. And we were all going after these bulls. No one was going after them yet. We're going. I'm already, because I knew where these bulls were going to end up in the morning, right? So I immediately went up right at first light, got within a decently close area to be the first one up in there. There's dudes glassing from the bottom, looking up. One of them being Wes and his buddies. So they immediately start going up, but we're in direct communication. We're talking to each other. Hey, dude, you hit this backside. I'll go this backside. Jared's going to come around, and let's just surround these bulls. No joke. Wes is hiking up this ridge line, and there's this dude, like
Is it the dude
maybe,
from like Australia or whatever he was?
yeah, he's from like
The one we
Russia.
saw on the way out?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, something like that.
yeah. This guy straight up is like 50 yards hiking in the footsteps of Wes and Jared's footsteps going up the hill,
I
and
remember that.
he's like not paying attention to where he knows the elk are there because he just glassed them up from the same spot, but like staying out of sight of these bulls. So like Wes would pop up and over, take a look at him, go back over, and then start hiking back up. This guy would just pop over and just be cruising, and I'm like, I'm on the other side, like, dude, stop! Like, you're gonna ruin this. Like, this is insane. And so finally, Wes was like, dude, what the heck? Like, you see us going after these bulls? You're like, oh, you're going after these elk too? Is what he brought up. What's like, well, no shiz, dude. We got, and he goes, there's so many people up here. And Wes is like, we're all together. He's like, Wes is like, you should probably just sit back here and maybe they'll be spooked to you, whatever it is.
Yeah.
Anyway, we get into the situation scenario, and then come to find out the dude tries to go up the gut with the wind blowing straight from the gut right up to those elk. And needless to say, no one killed one of those bulls. And I was sub 40 yards. So
I
that,
would have killed one if I would have gone to my original where my gut was telling me.
yeah, don't.
Again.
Always listen to your gut. Always listen to your gut.
So
But that's,
snow was waist belly button
that
deep.
was a lot of snow that year. But it's just important, like, give people, like, I've had a few situations. Another one was with Cade, and I was just hunting with Cade, and Cade was down in the bottom. I told him, I said, dude, there's bulls over here. I'm not even in a position to make a play, but I'll sit back, I'll glass. I look over to my left. Preston, Mountain Physio, is off to my left, and I'm like, hey, dude, I'll stay up here and just watch these bulls if you want to freaking tank down and all the way back up. So then I see Redbeard, Jonathan, down. He's down in the bottom, and I'm like, okay, let's just all get in communication, make sure everybody else has the same game plan, right? So Cade, he's first spotter because I had seen the bulls first. So Cade's going up top, and I'm walking him in, and then there's some random dude, and Cade's like sub 100 yards working his way on these bedded bulls. Some guy was pissed because Cade got to the area, started hiking up the hill first, but the dude had pulled into the place at the exact same time as Cade, but sat in his truck for a second. And Cade he's just ready to rock and roll, and the dude just runs.
Just in his blue jeans.
Yeah. And so then you have this other dude trying to keep up with Cade and can't, because Cade's just a freaking crazy man. And so he cuts off early and gets into the gut right below the bulls and starts yelling. He literally starts yelling. And the reason why I can't hear him, but I'm talking to Preston, I'm talking to Jonathan, I'm talking to Cade, and they're like, dude, some dude's running up the gut yelling. Like, what the heck? And he spooked the bulls out, and they ran away. They got away. So, like, Don't be pissed if somebody beats you to the elk. Like, let somebody have an opportunity at least. Like, I don't know. That is like an extreme situation.
That
However,
is
it does
exactly what
happen
not to
all
do.
the time. Yeah, don't do that. That is not etiquette. That is not. If somebody beats me to a bull, I want to see you kill it because
100%. And you're going to be right there helping him pack it out because that's the type of person that we are.
yeah,
Right.
and I would hope that somebody maybe would do the same for me, type of thing. Where
Yeah.
if somebody spots me closer to it, give me the opportunity to make my
Yeah.
plan and play, and not try to purposely ruin it by going up the gut yelling.
Yeah. And the majority of people are great.
Yes.
These are just instances where you could just do a little better.
Hopefully this guy
Right?
listens to this episode.
I hope so, man. What a douche.
Dude, it
I
was
didn't
like
know that he was yelling.
yeah, it was the craziest, like, most like, what is happening? Why? Why is this happening? Like, it says there's 2 days left in the hunt. It was the middle of December. Like, dude, you just spooked these bulls off out of this canyon. Chances are they are going to stay way further back in where you just spooked them to.
Yeah.
Like,
They gone.
why would you do that? And it was a
That doesn't make
decent
any
bull.
sense.
Actually, the next day, one of them was killed further in by old Shaggy boy.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
He did kill that one the next day.
Mm-hmm.
I do remember that now. This isn't really an unwritten rule. This is just something that I like to do to be a good person. So and if this spot is similar to something that you hunt, there's a spot that I hunt that I can access with an e-bike, and I have one. And I, if I run into people in the dark on the way up that have hiked in there, because it's, what is it, 4 miles in or something?
It's a sucky hike.
It is. It is. I usually always stop and ask them. Um, and some people like are caught off guard and they're like, "Why are you trying to find out where I'm going?" But I ask them. I was like, "Okay, where are you planning on hunting?" And then I have to explain. I was like, "Dude, you hiked in here. You put in more work than me. I'm on an e-bike. I have other places I can go in this area. So you tell me where you're gonna go, and I'm gonna go somewhere else." And I just like to do that. Just because I don't know. I feel like they've earned, especially, I mean, they got up earlier, they got hiking earlier, and just because I'm on an e-bike doesn't mean that I should completely screw up their hunt just because I can get in there faster.
I
You
mean,
know what
that
I
was
mean?
like the one that your buck you killed a couple of years ago. I don't have an e-bike, so I'm hiking. Jared has an e-bike. He figures, okay, I'm going to go further out. You stopped and talked to those dudes that were trucking. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
quite little larger, hefty men, and they were going up this hill, just eating crap. And you talked to them, asking them where they were going, because you
Mm-hmm.
told me that they were expected to go further than where we were going.
Yeah.
Uh, and I pass them, and I'm legitimately running. I made that hike in it was like 32 minutes, which was
Just fast.
insane. And then Jared shot
Yeah.
his buck. But then right after we shoot the buck, we bring it back up to the top. Those guys come walking back, and they're like, "Oh, looks like you guys, had good luck. You guys seen the elk or whatever," and just had a great conversation. And like, I could tell that they were like grateful that we didn't go to where they were kind of headed, even though
Mm-hmm.
we went to technically a better spot, right? For that morning, we got lucky and hit the exact spot that we, should. Um, and just like, I don't know, I feel like instead of them being all pissed off that we shot a deer where, they were trying to kill something, it was just like, oh, good job, guys.
Yeah.
We, appreciate the communication.
Yeah. No, I definitely agree. And in this space that we're in, especially with social media, we're so quick to attack each other and be so negative towards each other. I think that any little bit of positivity that you can bring within the hunting community I mean, you should try to
Yeah,
do it.
totally. I agree with that. Totally. There's a lot of. I mean, maybe dive into the question we got last week about
Oh gosh, right
the
now I got
impact.
some more stuff for etiquette. We can't
Okay.
miss some key etiquette
All right.
points.
Hit the etiquette. You hit social media. So
Oh, I know. That's coming. People, you should know that the social media conversation is coming. The good,
yes.
the bad, the ugly
Yes.
of social media, right?
What's another etiquette thing?
Um, I wanted to bring up, especially since I grew up hunting this way. You've started doing a lot of hunting this way. You've done hunting this way. Tree stand etiquette. And if you come upon somebody in a tree stand, or a scenario where it's say it's a skid road and someone's pulled off to the side of it, and you know that it's a dead end road, don't go down that road. They're not blocking the road out of safety and politeness and stuff like that, but they are on the side of the road and they are likely hunting down that road. So stay away from that road. I say this because this happens in Eastern Oregon to my dad a lot of times, right? So he has a tree stand at the end of this little skid road, and he parks back and walks probably a half mile into his tree stand. Um, and there's been a few times people just go right past, and it's obvious. It's at an intersection, but it's obvious that he is on that road, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because he's taken the turn and he's gone down at about 40-50 yards. Anyways, so if somebody's doing that, I mean, they're hunting that area, let them hunt that area. And if it was your plan for the morning, come back when the quad's not there or something like that, or the truck or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been times where I've accidentally stumbled on a tree stand and somebody in a tree stand, and vice versa. Somebody stumbled on me on a tree stand, and the difference between this person and me, I never went back to that spot. This person came through 3 days in a row and ruined my morning hunt. And it's
Oh
like,
gosh.
dude, you know I'm sitting in a tree stand here. Just be polite and stay away from the area. Like, I don't know.
I
Maybe
had
I'm
a
wrong.
tree stand incident happen once. I was sitting in a stand. Some dude walks up and like it's right on this water trough, and he it was with his girlfriend or something, and so they weren't after anything big, which is totally fine. He sat down. I mean, I'm talking within 15 yards of me, and I'm sitting in the stand. He had no idea I was there, so I whistled. I was just like, "Hey, dude!" Like, he goes, "Oh, shoot, sorry. Are you okay if I stay here?" I was like,
No.
it like caught me off guard. I'm like, uh, sure. Like, I don't know. He's like, we're just after like a small 2-pointer or a spike or something. But like, if a big buck walks in, it's yours. And I was like, well, big buck's not walking in with where you're sitting, so sure,
So
why
we're
not?
all done.
They
Yeah,
lasted like 30 minutes and then they picked up and left, and I was like, whatever. Like, that was the weirdest encounter that I had, but
that's funny.
yeah.
Oh, and then that reminded me of the similar stand. It was in a fairly popular area, but we killed quite a few elk out of this tree stand. If you stumble upon somebody in a tree stand, my advice to you is to go back out the way you came,
Yeah,
because
that's a
you've
good
already
point.
disturbed that area, right? Instead of continuing your hike past and through and towards the wind direction that you shouldn't be walking. Yeah, just head on back out the other way. Give them a couple, even if it's just a couple hundred yards. Um,
Yeah,
I think that's another unspoken
that's a good point.
rule.
That's a good point. Yeah, and like, I mean, we had the thing kind of happen on our last hunt where Jared killed a buck. Guys drove by the camp and they said, "Oh, wow, you guys, had good luck." And we were pretty open. Like, yeah, we got here. We still got 3 more tags. We're gonna be here all week. Blah 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 blah. Oh, totally respect that. Like we're not going to come, like if you guys are here, we're going to respect not showing up here. And they like were asking, okay, what did we do? We saw water, just the heat of the day, and like we were being respectful and like honest versus like just get them out of here and don't tell them how you had a
Yeah.
successful hunt. And they seemed respectful
Until the next morning.
until the next morning. We showed up to our spot and they were already there blocking the road, and uh immediately was like, oh yeah, we just put a stalk on a deer, we're watching them, and we're making a plan for them, and like immediately like snapped into defense mode of like, this is our spot, we've already been on these deer, we've been watching them, blah 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 blah. And we're like, dude, really?
Yeah.
Like, for reals? And
Yeah.
they ended up glassing deer and going and screwed the stock up, but went after them, like parked at our camp, sitting across, which is fine, it's public land, whatever, but like having the conversation the day prior where they were all respectful and like, we're not gonna, it was one little spot, like it wasn't very big, and we were watching some deer and they wanted a part of it the next day, so they decided to beat us up there in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, again, it is public land. You can do as you wish. These are just little etiquette things
Yeah,
to just help us all get along better. I
yeah.
mean, I've offered to work with people a ton on the
Mm-hmm.
mountain. If you show up and you're in the same spot at the same time with somebody, it's like we might as well work together because we're all in here.
Totally.
We're like, and it's gone both ways. I mean, some people are just like, well, you can shove it, or people are like, yeah, dude, of course, yeah. And most of the time, me just being kind of passive and I don't like confrontation and stuff. Usually, I'll just go somewhere else. But
I had
there's
one that,
nothing wrong with working together.
yeah, I had one that was, it was during the rifle hunt, but it was also extended archery there in Utah. And I was out, I'd found a little buck and I was questioning if I should shoot it. Wasn't really big, like it wasn't getting me super excited. And I ran into some rifle hunters and they had also seen the deer. And I was like, oh, you guys saw that too? They're like, oh, yeah. Are you wanting to go? I'm like, no, dude, because I talked to him for a second and they hadn't ever shot a deer. This guy came out from a different state and he was trying to shoot his first ever deer. Um, can you hear that? It's my garage opening up. It's nice and loud.
Oh, I thought it was an airplane.
Should be an airplane. And they were like super surprised. I was like, no, you guys shoot this. Like, first off, you have a rifle. Second off, a freaking bow, and it's only a 300-yard shot, 250 yards. Like, I think you guys should take this. And they didn't have very much experience with shooting a deer and or taking care of a deer for after. And so he ended up shooting, dropped it, and I went over there, helped him cut it up and get it out of there. And to this day, we're still friends. Like, we talk all the time, and it was refreshing to see like a good experience of just, helping some random dude out on the mountain to kill his first ever deer. And
Yeah, and dude, some of the best, like I wouldn't say like we're best friends or like we talk all the time or stuff, but some of the best relationships that I've made have been in scenarios like that. Like there's something about being on the
totally,
mountain and helping each other, and yeah, it's just like I don't know,
it
it's
doesn't have
cool.
to be like a competition. You're not trying to beat each other up. You both have the same goal, the same opportunity. You're in the same area. Might as well work together, help each
Yeah,
other out, and whatever. Like,
and I found from experience, up until this point, what goes around comes around.
totally,
Like it
totally,
seems like every year, if I'm doing something, paying it forward, like something happens that I either need help or someone sends me a message that says, "Hey, dude, I saw some animals here," or something like it. Just yeah, I've just always experienced that paying it forward, it's always comes back.
totally. Yeah, 100%. I agree
So
with that.
I like that one.
Yeah, just being nice out on the mountain.
Just be nice.
Just be nice.
It's not that hard. You know what's hard is being a jerk. That's hard.
Yeah.
For us anyways.
Yeah, there's just no reason to be a jerk. Just we're all out there having fun. Let's just have fun.
Yeah.
I don't know. Just be nice and have fun.
Should we do a couple little rando, not necessarily hunting etiquette stuff?
Absolutely.
Like, don't ever draw your bow back without an arrow in it.
This is a very important thing, and I speak by experience. I do speak by experience. I'll share a quick example. I figured, put my release on it, keep my finger behind the trigger. All is good. I am not stupid. I'm not going to dry fire my bow, right? Well, I drew it back. It was a brand new Hoyt RX1, and it was probably about 2 days old. And I took it over to my parents' house and was like, check this out. I just dropped $2,500 on this beautiful thing.
Oh no!
I drew it back and boom! Immediately dry fire.
Oh, no.
80 pounds. Blows
it's not worth
up.
It, people.
No, what happened was the set screw on my release, what indicates how much weight it can hold, backed out apparently, and it couldn't hold 80 pounds. So it wasn't me, it was my release. But it goes to show, don't pull it back without an arrow, and 2, don't pull it back without an arrow pointing in a safe direction, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, don't be just freaking pulling a bow back. It's just like a gun. Like, you have a bow pulled back, it's going through the wall. It's going to do. It's going through your garage and through your car bumper. It will. It has.
Yeah.
I've done it. So, like, don't. Yeah, I think that I learned my lesson on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I had to get new strings, new limbs, new cams, new axles.
Dude, that sucks.
I still have the bow.
Another thing, when you have your bow, don't pull it back with fingers. Okay? I know I know you do, but you know how to draw a bow and let it down. Yes. Can you hear me okay? But you know how to draw a bow and let it down. Okay? What happens is a lot of times people will turn their hand like this when they go to turn. So that turns the string, right? And that'll make this string track off of these cams, especially in a bow like the lift seemed like it had a little bit shallower of a cam for the string to sit in. If you torque that a little bit, dude, it's coming off. I mean, so I worked at the bow rack for a couple of years. And people dry fire bows, man, and they bring it in a lot of the times. They're like, it had an arrow in it and everything, but like you torque your front hand or you torque the back hand or you draw it back with fingers or whatever. In my opinion, it's just not worth it.
Totally.
I think Braxton is the first person that has shot one of my personal bows in probably about like 10 years. Like I haven't let anybody even like if I show somebody my bow, I immediately do not touch the string.
You're not allowed
it's not worth it. Yeah. It's not worth it. We put a lot of time and effort into sighting these things in and getting them dialed in. It's just have an arrow nocked, and I suggest don't draw it back with fingers unless
it's true. I did shoot a deer with fingers this year actually, because I was gutting a deer, and I left my release inside, and as I'm cutting her up, a doe walks by, and I just was like, okay, if she's sub 20, I'm flinging.
And you hit her?
I hit her.
Oh no!
Not saying it was a good shot. I learned a lesson, but I mean, it was a combination. She jumped the string, and I hit a little further back, which it was on film. I do have it on film. Like I could possibly share it if I decide, but it just went straight through like a little slice of her butt cheek. Oh, that was a terrible shot.
Well, you won't be doing that. You won't be doing that again.
No. Shooting
back
fingers.
To our next etiquette point
is hard. Yes, there's an etiquette part, and honesty is the best policy. So I will get ridiculed, I'm sure, about it. But there's just 1,000 does where I'm at, and you can kill 3 a day. So
yeah, that's cool. That'd be fun.
Yeah. And dude, I literally pulled it back with my fingers. And then I slowly got to the point where I was just pinching the D loop and I was just going to let go.
Dude,
Right.
that's some strumpf.
I mean, the let off is fine. Like, I felt like I was just holding it. And then I like flinched and she turned and it was just a bad combination and smoked her. I mean, like a sliver of her butt cheek. And it's all on film.
Oh gosh, that's
Oops.
funny.
So, moral of the story: don't try to shoot a deer with your fingers because it just doesn't.
Yeah,
It doesn't
unless
work.
that's what you're set up
Unless
for.
that's how you shoot. Yeah.
Yeah. There's gonna be 3D shoots coming. A lot of them.
Yeah. Some tax.
Yeah.
Some Bow Disciples challenge he's got going in California.
Yeah.
You got tax. You've got MAF. You've got.
I don't think you have MAF anymore.
Tell me. Are they gone?
If that's the one I was thinking of. I think
Mountain Archery Fest?
Yeah, they closed their doors.
No way.
Stand by.
Let's pull this up. Mountain Archery Fest.
Yeah, his last video or something like that, he's talking about it. But at 3D tournaments or shoots and stuff like that. So I don't think this is a well-known unspoken rule. So you go shoot your target, and when you pull your arrows, and if you miss, look for a second. If nobody's there, by all means, look, right? Try to find your arrow. But if it's stuff starting to stack up, sorry, man, you lost that one.
You gotta take the loss.
Yeah, that's an L on that one right there. But pull your arrows, and then when you get to where you're a safe distance away from the target, shout clear. So that way, shout it so people can hear it. So that way, the guys behind you aren't wondering, like, are we good? Can we shoot? Or like, how long do we need to wait? Like, they'll know, like, according to you, you feel safe enough for them to shoot. And it happens every year, often at TAC. So I wanted to bring that point out here instead of being like, hey, dude, in front of me,
yell clear,
please.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. And just one, be respectful of the mountain that you're on. Two, be on the lookout for people marking fake trails. Turn those guys in immediately. And if you are one of those guys, please don't do that because that's just rude. And that happened to us. We got lost.
So lost.
Yeah, we were like,
well, like not lost, but like off of the trail.
We could tell like something was wrong because it was guiding right behind the target the whole way, which typically at TAC, it's not like that. They'll turn off that target so you're not in behind. So that was a big dangerous move to whoever did that, and it was somebody that was pissed off that the mountain biking was closed off to the public or whatever it might have been.
Somebody could have got killed.
Yeah, that's just not a cool thing to do. So
what
other things can we touch on etiquette wise? I'm trying to think.
I mean, obviously, always be respectful to people. Some of the nicest people I have met out on the mountains have been hikers or hippies. You know what I mean? They've been awesome people. And honestly, if you kind of talk to them a little bit, like they'll ask you questions. They're super curious. And that is a perfect time to like explain what you're doing. And like if you're packing an animal out, they ask you questions like, did you just get that whole thing out in one trip? Or like, how did you get the animal out off the mountain? Well, we cut it up and put it in the game bags. Yeah, it's your time to shine and earn those voters.
Yep.
Because we are under attack, whether you like it or not.
Totally. I had a cute little Asian lady and dude, this old couple that were hiking up this hill. You had just passed by on your e-bike with your buck, and I'm slowly hiking, and I'm semi covered in blood. And they were like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "Just deer hunting." "You get meat?" I was like, "Yeah, we get meat up here." And they were asking me questions. I'm like, "Yeah, we bow hunt and shoot deer and turn it into steak and hamburger. And they're like, wow, that is amazing. I had no idea. In my head, I'm like, you didn't know hunting's a thing? Like, but like these people, like, wow. I was like, yeah, it's, healthy, organic meat and what, blah, 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 blah. And we, respect the mountain and stuff. And they were like, that's awesome. Like, congratulations. And it was a great conversation that most people, I think, would have just walked past and not given them the time of day, just because, one, they had no idea what they were talking about. They looked like just straight up tree huggers hiking a mountain, which is what they were, but they were very, very kind people. And I think that's, again, like you said, like that's where you gain those voters for hunting, where you're, these outdoor laws that everybody's attacking. We need to get as many people involved and for it as we can.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure we're gonna miss a handful of these, and people, you guys can start a thread below, since you can comment on Spotify and all of our other platforms, of course. Some of the unspoken rules / etiquette and stuff that you think are important. I mean, obviously, it goes without saying. Like, no, I'm gonna save that for social media conversation.
That's fair. That's fair.
Yeah,
I think that probably deserves a full episode covering the kind of the negative and positive impact social media has had on the hunting world. So we'll throw it out there. This is something
absolutely
we're going to touch on. It was a question asked on our Instagram story, and there is a lot that more than enough for a single episode to talk about that. So
yeah, I agree.
We're going to dedicate an episode to that. So be on the lookout for that. Etiquette wise, we covered the simple basics. And again, leave a comment, whether it's on the YouTube video or Spotify. Leave a comment on experiences that you have with good or bad etiquette. What other examples you might have, or etiquette things that you think everybody should follow. I think just hearing that from you guys and stuff. And same with just asking the question, we'll throw it out here for positive and negative impacts social media has had on the hunting world. Leave that as a comment, things that you think in a positive or negative manner for us to hit on in that episode. So that way we can kind of go in depth in what people are looking for and what they think. So
yeah, I agree. No, that'd be very helpful. Also, the Hunt Expo is coming up in 2 weeks. There's an etiquette thing, right? Hey, don't plan this on Valentine's Day weekend. That'd be great. But anyways, if you guys are there and you see me there, I don't know if Braxton's going to make it. If you see me there, reach out. Love to talk. Just say hi, whatever. Introduce yourself. Always love meeting all the people at the Hunt Expo. It's a lot of fun.
So. Yeah, Hunt Expo is a blast. If I don't make it to the Utah Hunt Expo, I'll probably end up going to the the
Northwest Turkey
Foundation Expo here in Nashville. So again, if I end up there, if you see me there, say hi. I'm going to learn some bird stuff. I think we need to kill some turkeys this season. So I'm craving some turkeys.
I'm not entirely opposed.
Hey, if you want to come out, I know a place you could stay.
That'd be fun. We might have that happen.
We'll make it happen, at least for one bird. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. If you don't mind, to kind of help the algorithm and help us grow, leave a review on whatever platform, especially Spotify. It just kind of helps get our name out there. Subscribe both to Spotify and YouTube. Follow us on Instagram at BowNerds Bow.Nerds podcast or something _ Bow_nerds podcast. I think that's our name. No, that's it. Bow_.
Let's confirm. It's pretty sure it's Bow_nerds
podcast.
Yes.
Follow us on there and just give us feedback. We want to hear from you guys, and we appreciate the support, guys. And we will catch you on the next episode.
Thanks, everyone.